Hey everyone, Gil Gross here. This is a post-match thoughts video on Novak Djokovic's 16th Grand Slam title. He beat Roger Federer 13-12 in the fifth. It's the first time in Wimbledon men's singles history that the 12-all tiebreak was even played. It happened in the final. It was the longest final ever, and it was one of the craziest matches ever. Federer had 2 match points. Djokovic Federer rather, won more total points than Djokovic. It was a crazy, crazy match and a difficult one to wrap the old brain around. But I will try my very best to break down what was a total whirlwind of a match. Of course, first of all, congratulations to Novak Djokovic on an effort and a performance that was defined by grit and determination and perseverance. I think that in a way, Djokovic should be more proud of himself for this win. Actually, not in a way. I think definitively Djokovic should be more proud of himself for this win than he was for his Australian Open immaculate performance against Rafa Nadal. Because to me, this showed actually probably more championship qualities than the match in Australia did. And then for Roger Federer, I think everyone is gutted for Roger because this is one of those matches that no one deserved to lose. And for most of the match, I think it's fair to say that Federer was putting the pressure on and possibly even outplaying Djokovic. It was Djokovic's incredible tolerance for playing under pressure and withstanding Federer's barrage that was able to get him to the pressure moments. And then once he was in the pressure moments, that's where Djokovic was able to outplay Roger Federer in the match. Let's talk about a couple of the big points. Because when it comes to a match like this, I've said this before, this is always my philosophy, there's no use in going big picture and saying this player was better than this player and that's why that player won. It was such a close match that either player could have easily won. At that point, it's an arm wrestle, but it's a coin flip. It comes down to the big points. 40-15 Roger Federer serving. He hits sort of a safe second serve to the Djokovic forehand. So this is on the deuce side, and credit to Novak Djokovic. He went after that forehand, just like he did, not quite, but, almost like he did in the 2011 US Open semifinal. Down 40-15, same score, forehand return. At the US Open, he hit it for a winner cross court, saved the match points, went on to win the match. In this case, he hit it quite nicely right at Federer's body. It was almost like a body serve. Good depth, good pace, and Federer couldn't quite get out of the way. He caught it late and it went wide. Then 30-40, second match point for Federer. He makes his first serve, I want to say. Federer's in control of the point. Gets Djokovic on the defensive. Djokovic hits a pretty, a short cross-court backhand, and Federer sees his chance, so he runs around his forehand and hits an inside-in approach shot. Whenever you hit the inside-in approach shot, the cross-court pass is open. And, God, this sounds awfully familiar. Just like Nadal did in the semifinal last year, Federer's approach shot was a little bit too safe. Not close enough to the baseline, not close enough to the sideline. It wasn't the easiest pass in the world. It wasn't the hardest pass in the world. It was your average passing shot, but even down match point, Novak made it perfectly right inside the sideline. Then it was deuce. Still Federer in the driver's seat. He's still serving for the match. They get into a baseline rally. He doesn't make his first serve on deuce, so it would have been nice for Federer, for Federer's sake, for him to make a first serve there. He doesn't. They get into a baseline rally. Djokovic goes deep to the Federer backhand. Federer drops it short on a cross-court backhand, and Djokovic pulls him out wide, and Federer misses a defensive squash forehand. I can't remember if it was a backhand down the line by Djokovic or if it was an inside-in forehand. But the major point is Federer doesn't make a first serve and drops a cross-court backhand short. Then On break point, Djokovic makes a really good return. This time Federer made the first serve, but it came back at Federer pretty quickly, and they get into a forehand cross-court rally. In this case, Djokovic, a strong forehand cross-court, puts Federer on the run, and Federer misses the forehand. Notice that Federer didn't really make a terrible mistake in that sequence. It was Djokovic actually taking it to Federer and really earning that break of serve. So Federer fans can at least take solace in that, and Roger himself can at least take solace in that. He had the chances, but he didn't really throw the chances away in this case. Then, in the 12-all tiebreak, 2 points, the mini breaks, Federer served volleys and missed a half volley, but Djokovic a good job getting the return low. And then there was a point where Federer ran around the backhand and hit, again, an inside-out forehand that was a little bit too safe. Same thing, whenever you hit an inside-out forehand, you got to hit it well. You got to hit it hard because there's the open court. Djokovic hits to the open court, the down-the-line backhand. He struck it beautifully, and it won him the point for 6-3. And then Federer missed a forehand on match point, actually shanked it really badly. So those are the big points I want to draw attention to. When it comes to the match chronologically, so Djokovic won 3 tiebreaks here. 2 traditional 7-6 tiebreaks, and then the 12-all tiebreak in the 5th set. The first set tiebreak, Federer's made a lot of forehand errors, going after it. He was the aggressor in the entire first set. Djokovic doing more of the moving, and Federer playing, the kind of tennis that Federer wants to play. Djokovic just kind of hanging in there. Missed a lot of forehands. Then, in the 3rd set tiebreak, Federer missed a ton of backhands. Just wasn't as solid in the big moments off the ground when it counted. And we'll talk about some of the things Federer did well, for sure. But I think the big picture for this match was the thing that I kind of thought about, reflected on, and this took me a little while, is once again we have a scenario where a lot of Federer's weapons are working really well. But Djokovic's weapons are a little bit more reliable and repeatable. I'll explain. Djokovic is not going to all of a sudden lose his movement, his defense, and his consistency in a big moment. In the first set tiebreak, in the 3rd set tiebreak, Djokovic always had his consistency, his movement, and his defense. Federer, on the other hand, if you look at the first and the 3rd set tiebreaks, too aggressive, made errors. If you look at some of the moments in when he had the match points, the inside-in forehand approach, the inside-out forehand in the 12-all tiebreak, too passive. Not the same aggressive player that maybe you would have at 2-all in the 2nd set, where he's loose and he's executing his weapons. The point is, Federer, I think as a whole at Wimbledon handled his nerves quite nicely. But in the biggest moments in this match, we were reminded of how repeatable Djokovic's weapons are compared to Federer's weapons. So repeatable. And then Djokovic keeping the ball in the court in this match when Federer had so much variety in his pace, his depth, and his height was incredible. Djokovic's north-south movement, which is really difficult for him, and it was really bad. It wasn't as good in the 2nd set and the 4th set where Federer completely picked Novak apart. And it was a masterclass in those sets by Federer. And, Djokovic, now I had some streaming issues, but and I actually kind of missed a lot of the 2nd set, but it seems like Djokovic kind of mentally gave up the 2nd set pretty easily. But I think that he was exhausted from the 1st set from having to deal with Federer's pressure. And then when he went down in the 2nd set, I think he was mentally exhausted. The short chip from Federer, which drew Djokovic in, and then he would he would kind of repeatedly give Djokovic shots, mix it up even to the forehand, so he couldn't really run around and hit his forehand, and he had to hit backhands. The short chip that I talked about in the preview worked brilliantly at times, but Djokovic was just willing to grind through it and make as many balls as he could until he got balls to attack, like in the pressure moments. But it was very strange. Djokovic did not make a lot of first serves, not much over 50%, and he actually put less returns in play than Federer. He missed a lot of backhand returns off of second serves, which is very rare for him, and really didn't have his A stuff. And that's why Federer was able to get so many opportunities and outplay Djokovic for so much of the time. Federer's return was pretty good for the most part, but Djokovic did do a better job than Nadal did of mixing it up. I thought that, I never knew if Federer was serving to the forehand or the backhand. Never really knew. Or did I say Federer? I meant I never knew if Djokovic was serving to the forehand or the backhand. And Federer missed some returns down the stretch. Thought Djokovic's ground strokes, his aggressive ground strokes, got better towards the latter stages of the fifth set, especially his forehand. So that was timely for Djokovic. And those are my main points. I'm sure I'm missing stuff. This is a difficult match to break down, but it was Djokovic's perseverance and his ability to keep the ball on the court when Federer was giving him so many different looks and so many different balls. His movement never escapes him, his movement and defense. He never got frustrated. And in the biggest moments, it seemed like Federer just couldn't find what he found against Nadal, which is aggression in the court. It was either a little too passive or errors. That's all I got. So hope everyone enjoyed the match. Look out for the Wimbledon vlog, and I'm not really sure what I'm doing other than that in terms of content from the week, but maybe a Q&A. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.